Have you ever felt that imposter syndrome within you and you're thinking to yourself, who am I to do this? I can 100% relate, and I know exactly how to work through it. And the reason why I do is because not only have I been through it, but I still go through it now. And I think whenever you're committed to a personal growth, or if you're committed to growing a business or growing a career or growing yourself, it potentially could always keep weaving itself back in, because you're not staying the same. You're not in that stagnant energy. You're in that movement energy and that growth energy. And so, for example, when I'm creating this meditation library, which I'm doing at the moment, the Radiant Portal, I had these thoughts of, why would someone come to me? There's so many amazing meditators and practitioners and people out there. But then you have to realize that this feeling and this thought, this download has come from somewhere. It's come from within. It's come from connection. It's come from being aligned. And you don't have to know the why and the how. You just have to show up for it. And it's natural for that ego mind that operates on fear rather than the true self of who we are, that operates from love. But the ego mind is there to create fear and to create doubt, and that's its job. But just know that you probably feel this, sometimes there's two voices, the voices that is really supporting you and the voices which feels like are trying to take you out of the game. And it's not about the voices, it's about how we respond and react to those voices. Now I'm sounding a little bit weird, but I'm hoping that you're relating to this on some level of some sorts. So here are the 5 steps that worked for me and that I'd love to share with you too. So step 1, we just observe the feeling. We observe the thoughts, the feeling, no judgment, no story. We can close our eyes, we can just listen. We can maybe feel where it is in the body. Is it in the heart? Is it in the gut, that solar plexus? Is it lower down? Is it the root? We're just feeling, we're just observing, and that's it. Step 2, I ask myself, what's actually true? So again, I'm coming from that, is it ego that's bringing in the fear and the doubt and it's doing its job to protect me? Or is it a non-reality? Is it a reality? I'm just asking myself, what's true, what's ego, and what's perspective? Because let's face it, most things are just a perspective, and there's very, very few facts in the world. There's various truths, and we can just tap into which one we want to tap into, right? Step 3, I just ask myself simply, what's the dream? What's the goal? What's the vision? What's the idea? What is it that I want to create that really comes from within, from my heart, from that feeling of alignment? And then the next step, I ask myself, what are the practical actions that I can take to create this goal? The actions that I know that would feel right and true and in alignment in order to create this dream. And I'll just get a fresh piece of paper and just write everything down that I can think of. Again, no judgment, no story, not even thinking, well, how am I going to do that? You just write it down. And then I guess part B to that is we take action on those things. Sometimes we're waiting for that confidence to kick in. Sometimes we're waiting for that self-doubt to disappear. But actually, sometimes the best way to clear the doubt and the lack of confidence is just by taking action. And by taking action, we start to receive feedback. We start to feel good about ourselves. We start to feel that integrity that we're doing what we said that we were going to do. And it builds the energy, and that starts to build momentum. We can't always know the top of the steps. We don't know the third step sometimes, but if we know the first and the second step, let's start there. And then the next steps will appear in terms of emotionally, mentally, and obviously the actions as well. So that's what creates confidence. It's the actions. It's not going to come from just sitting and waiting for it to come, or hoping that self-doubt will just go. One person will say one thing external to us that will just kick us into action. No, we need to work from inside out. In my experience, that's always the best way. When you work inside out, you're empowering yourself, you're taking control as well. You're not giving your power to other people, and you're not giving your power to circumstances and situations. You're taking it from yourself and from within, and through guidance, through source energy as well. So it's not just you, you've got power behind you, but working inside out. And then step 5 for me personally is meditation. I've handled the mindset and the thoughts and the ego versus the true self. And I've written some action steps down, and now I just want to go and settle in. I just want to sit quietly. I don't want to think about it. It's not an opportunity to go over what I've thought about. It might come up initially, but I'm just sitting and just finding peace and stillness. And let me tell you, that's a practice. I know from personal experiences. In fact, that's why I started meditating. Like many, many years ago, because again, you teach what it is that maybe you've struggled with. I struggled with an overactive mind, and I still do now to this day. But I know I've got more awareness of it, and I know the tools that can help me with it. It's not that I've completely cleared it, I've calmed it, but it's a practice. And so it's just about sitting in stillness. The thoughts will come in, see if you can just like let them pass by, maybe even think of like a cloud passing away, and then another cloud comes and then it passes away. So maybe you've gone through all those 5 steps, and maybe you'll keep working on those 5 steps. You can keep going back to them. You know, we've got to remember that life isn't linear. Personal growth isn't linear. Sometimes it does feel like we're taking 10 steps back and 1 step forward. And also we've got to remind ourselves that we have cycles. We have, especially women, we have our monthly cycle. Men have cycles too. They tend to work in sort of a 24-hour process. So we're honoring who we are within all of that. But one of the biggest things, and I've kind of mentioned it already, that I always come back to when I'm just, you know, out and about and the thoughts slip in, is that it's all perspective. And at the end of the day, I'm never given anything that I can't handle. And that doesn't always feel true when you're in the middle of something and you're in the middle of a rocky patch. But, you know, maybe you're, let's say, a level 15 person. That's just a random number plucked out of thin air. You're a level 15 person, and maybe you're given a level 16 challenge, and you've got to grow to be able to handle that challenge. And then the next time you have a level 16 or 15 or 14 challenge, it just feels so easy. And that's growth, isn't it? You know, think about back when you've found something really challenging and difficult, and you handled it, and you moved on, and you moved forward. And think about where you are now and what you're maybe having challenges with or having self-doubt about. Can you see how you can just move forward from that and through it? Because you've done it before. So that if you've done it before, you've got it within you to do it again. Yes, it's a different level, but it's just about shifting the levels within you, if that makes sense. So if you're feeling a sense of self-doubt today, I hope you take one of these 5 actions. In fact, I'd actually love to hear from you. Like, what is one of the actions that you know you're going to take that's going to be super beneficial? And let me know how you get on with this. Again, just a reminder to subscribe and like if you find this super beneficial and helpful. Every Monday, I share a guided meditation. Every Wednesday, a Kundalini meditation, which has definitely been very powerful in my journey, especially the addiction meditation. I'll actually pop a link to that somewhere above. And then every Thursday, I share my insights basically with business and personal development and spiritual growth, in the hope that it helps any of you guys out there as well. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.